recording. There we go. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited to demonstrate the new and improved virtual CAP. And I have with me today Sue Kenny. Sue is our virtual CAP expert, and she is going to show us some of the wonderful features of virtual CAP. But before we go ahead and do that, I want to just ask Sue to tell us a little bit about herself. And all of you who are on, if you have questions at any time, put them in the chat. We will be monitoring them. And feel free to share your reactions to different pieces of the website as we go through, because this is likely to be an iterative process where we make improvements over time, you know, sort of like the Roma model of looking for how things are going and making improvements. So Sue has been around in the community action world for a couple decades, I think. Can you tell us, how did you get started in community action, and how did you end up where we are now?
So I started, good afternoon, everyone. I started in 1999 as an ed manager in early care and education program, which wasn't called early care and education at the time. Started as an ed manager, became the director, moved into a planning role, and then a director of planning. Over the last probably 17 years, because I chose to spend more time with my girls who were very young at the time, I started doing consulting, including with Kafka and some other Connecticut state organizations in the areas of planning and development, staff development, system development, program development. So I am very passionate about community action. I'm so glad I'm able to take on this project. And I have been working with Kafka probably for all of those 17 years. And so it feels like family. But I'm excited about this project and to bring it to all of you.
Great. And many of you know Ken Ackerman, who was the originator of Virtual CAP. And Ken poured so much of himself into Virtual CAP over the years. We took it over from Ken last year when Ken decided to retire. And we've been talking with a lot of you over the last year about how to make this resource a truly valuable resource for you, something that's different than the other resources that already exist in the community action space. And so I think we've nailed some really good pieces that we're adding in now, and always happy to hear about more ideas. But let's kick things off, and Sue's going to pull up the website and show what the new website looks like. And has anyone been on it yet? So if you have, just kind of give me a thumbs up reaction or something so we can see if anyone has checked out the new Virtual CAP yet.
Okay, so this is, I got to move this bar. This is the homepage for virtualcap.org. And you'll see that it looks totally different than what we had before. But as I go through some of the different features, some are the same, just reorganized, and some are brand spanking new. But like Deb said, this is a work in progress. We spent a good amount of last year, talking and discussing and determining what would be really useful to the community action world across the country. So this is what our product is, and we're excited. You'll see that there is this bar across the top for access to the different features, but also you'll see on the bottom those same features, a little description. And so that's if you are not a member, if you're not a subscriber from 2022, you can see what's there. This is a link. Anything that's underscored is a direct link to the resources that are here, but it's also under the resource page. So let me start walking you through by starting with Roundup. Roundup Ken Ackerman started Roundup. It's a monthly publication. It features different sections. I took that over last year and I keep refining it as much as I can, but it really is to provide highlights of what's happening across the country with different community action agencies and associations, as well as hot topics that are going on. But in addition to just having articles, it includes, let me pull up one. It includes links to additional resources for you, so that you can, in fact, read a little bit more. So here's something on, how to do effective collaborations. It's focused on nonprofits. And then warming centers and the benefit and the struggles and the reasons, keeping in mind that not every agency in the country is in the same place as you might be with some of these things. And so achievements, successes, grants, where people are finding grants, all of that information, I'm linking that to these articles to provide you with some good information, insights, and resources. There's some feel-good categories in there as well that may have nothing to do, can have that. I've kept up with that. So you will find the Roundup under that tab, the current month, and then 2 years back. If you are a subscriber, then you will receive a notification that a new Roundup is available with a link to the page, or you could just come in and check periodically. The one thing I love about doing with Roundup is when I come across resources, data, grant opportunities, I can also throw those into our resource category, which I'll talk about in a little bit, but just so we make sure it's easily accessible to all of you to access. A second feature, which is a new feature, which we're really excited about, is a job board. This job board is, those of you who are affiliated with RPICs and state associations knew that I was keeping upper level job postings in the emails that go out. Now we've transferred that and they're posted here. It is a self-service portal, so to speak, for you to post your own jobs. It is any level job that you want to post. And so I think Michelle is on the call and she's up in Maine. And I actually ended up, pulling the CFO position, and I posted it just so people could see. Again, it's a self portal. What I like, besides it being a self portal, and you guys can upload if you're a subscriber, is that you can attract people from, let me back up. Anyone, whether you're a subscriber or not, can view these jobs. And so I think sending them out, and people who are already employed by CAAs could see other opportunities, and you're going to have an experienced CAA potential employee. People who work in CAAs who see these job boards might know someone who could be a potential employee for your organization. And so you can share this website for job site, for people doing job searches. It'll have all different kinds of levels in here. And as you can see, you can search by state. So if somebody wants to just see what jobs are in Colorado, they can do that. If they want to search for the type of job, only the states that have jobs listed right now will show up in the state filter, but hopefully that'll change. And then there's an opportunity for subscribers to post a new job. So very excited about that.
What is the limit on how many jobs a member can post at any one time?
It's unlimited. It's as many as you feel you want to upload. And you basically need to just post the link to it, the position, the state, your organization, and you're good to go, and a date that you want the post taken down. So it's as simple as that. And then it will automatically come down. Just like any other employment search engine, it'll like Indeed, that job will come down after, or you can go in and remove it if you filled that position, or you can contact me. You can contact me directly. There are a lot of self-service portal, so to speak, work here. However, that doesn't mean I'm going away. I'm still here to support and to monitor, but also to give assistance where needed. So any other questions, Deb, about this?
I don't know. Do others have questions about the job board? If you do, you can pop them into the chat.
Yeah. So you could see I took liberty and entered a bunch for Pennsylvania, and some others have been posted. Again, all different level jobs. Any questions on this, Deb, or no?
Nope.
Okay. The next feature, a brand new feature, are discussion forums. So, when you go to conferences, regional, national, statewide, it's an opportunity to network. There's many of you who are planning statewide trainings, and you're looking for topics, or you're looking for trainers, and you're looking for sponsors. That's a possibility to post something here on the discussion forums to ask. This has multiple topics, multiple categories. You'll see with this, I posted a resource because I came across it. And so as a member, you would see it. I also posted it under resources, but it's a quick link to material that I found that I thought could be useful. I will talk about membership more, but I will tell you that you see direct service here, you see HR. This is an opportunity to have your staff be users, and it's up to 100 users per organization, which is a lot of users, but be able to access this and to be able to network with people in another state or another part of the state about similar items. Someone might have some experience and they can share. You can also, jump around. We can also add topics. We try to identify the most, what are some groups of people that might want to have discussions, but we can add, if we want to add finance directors to this, we can add it. There's an HR, there's general discussion. Again, there's a lot we can do with this. So that's kind of the idea.
And so for this discussion board, it really does make sense to get as many of your staff members as you can to have accounts. And it's one price for your agency, whether you just have one person have an account or 10 people have an account or 100 people have an account on Virtual Cap. The more people who have accounts, the more robust the discussion forums will be, and the better of a resource will be created, because people will be sharing with their peers across the country about issues that impact community action.
Yeah. Any questions on this? Okay. So the resource section of Virtual Cap is not new. It's reorganized so that it's easy, accessible for all of you. We want this to be a place where you or your staff can go to look at data or sources. I will start with national resources. So this provides you with links to these national resources that support community action, and it just upcoming events and CSBG resources, which we know we're all in the, right, they're due next week, that report, but all kinds of resources, and you can go directly to these sites and to that information. So that's a nice feature, or I think it is. Annual reports. So I have the privilege of developing some annual reports for a couple of agencies in Connecticut, and I'm always looking for ideas on layouts, on content, on covers. So I think this provides you with that, but more meaningful are, what are other people doing? What's the impact that other agencies are having in their state or in that part of the country? What are their hot topics? How are they laying it out? What are they including in the report? And so we're not keeping years and years and years of annual reports. We're only keeping the last 2 years of annual reports, but this takes you directly to, you can filter by year. So you'll see that there are a couple of 2022. Carrie, you can see TVCCA is here. And then you just will go directly to that report. This is a flip style report, which has become very popular, right? And you can download it, you can do whatever you want with it, but it does give you an idea. Okay, so their report's not so long. Hey, how come my report's 22 pages and their report is 8? So how does that work? And what did they fill in there? And what was important? So that's one of the things that we really like, is to be able to share. But I think being able to see the other work of your colleagues is really nice as well. Anything you want to add, Deb?
Yeah, I really like this too, because not so much, well, the content, of course, is very important, but it is difficult to continue to come up with new ideas for your annual report every year. Do you want to change the size, the color scheme, whatever theme there is? And imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. So if people are willing to share their annual reports and not, and then to just feel happy when somebody says, I liked that so much, I copied it, I think that is a wonderful thing for our network.
Right. So right now there's 4 pages. So there's about 40 annual reports in here going back to late 2020. This is also something that you can upload yourself, or you can send to me and I will upload for you. I think the more we have here, the better. So I do really like that. The last resource section are resources and publications. And so this is broken down into 4 categories. We have data, grants, publications, and resources. There are direct links to these grant opportunities here as I come across them. Having been in the planning department at a couple of agencies, I know the importance of that. Sometimes, you know, there's a hot topic going on. Again, we're not trying to provide information that you're getting readily in other places, but we don't know, I don't know, and I assume that we want to give as much information so that if there's an agency with less resources than a larger agency, that they have access to some of these, that'll make their job a little bit easier, a little bit more, their work a little bit more efficient. And so you'll see publications that might feed into your supporting some data for your needs assessment at your agency, you know, with mental health or behavioral health. Other resources, ultimate guide to nonprofit storytelling. I know that I've had discussions with people in Connecticut about some agencies are really great at telling their agency story and others not so much. And so here's a guide on how to write a good story and share that with the rest of the world. So these are the kinds of resources and publications that you'll find here. Any questions on that?
Yeah, one of the things I really like about this page, Sue, is the links to various data sources. Just having them all in one place, I think, is super helpful. And you know, we're all always looking for data to include in either publications or grant applications, and just having things kind of easy to find.
Right. And knowing what I know of community action agency staff, you all are people that share and like to network. And so the ability to be able to upload resources and content, we felt was really important, because that's the kind of community that I have always found community action to be. And so it's not a competition, it's, you know, we're supporting each other. And so there's the opportunity to share resources like this directly through here by going to contact. You can, you know, upload, share new content, and you'll see in reports, tools, resources, and more. So you're just putting an address and sending it, and I take a look at that. You can also share new content through your membership page. So let's talk about membership. Deb already talked about it is a $150 fee for 1-year subscription. It is for your organization. We are not doing state association memberships anymore. That would cover the entire state. We want to allow for each organization, each community action agency or association to add their own users and manage that. I think it'll be a little bit more manageable. And I think I just want to make sure this is getting in to people's hands and on their desk where it'll be beneficial. So while I'm going to do a quick down and dirty here on how to do this, I will tell you that if you have a 2022 subscription, and I've already talked to a couple of people that I know are on the call, you can start utilizing this site. You have the subscription until the end of the month, at which time you can decide whether you want to renew. or not. And by doing that, if you want to renew, what you're doing is going to, and it's not going to do it for yours, Deb, because you're part of my group. But you're able to go to your group management and you're able to, yeah, see, it's not going to do it there. What happens is you can change your membership and that'll allow you to renew it. I'm going to go to a different.
No, actually, before you leave this, I just want to make sure that everybody gets it. So in prior years, we had an individual CAA membership, and then we had state association membership, which was based on the number of CAAs you had in your state. So in a state like Connecticut, we have 9 community action agencies, and our membership dues were based on, I think it was $100 times 9 agencies. And that was supposed to give us a statewide subscription for our CAAs. But what we were finding was that a lot of states weren't able to figure out really how to share that subscription with their community action agencies. And so what we've done is each community action agency can join, and each state association can join, and no matter what kind of an organization you are, and again, no matter how many people on staff are joining, it's the same $150 for the year. And for state association folks who were thinking, oh, that's like a really good deal, and maybe we had more money budgeted for this, one thing you could consider, and I think we'll consider, is telling your community action agencies in your state that you could reimburse them for their memberships to virtual CAP, because obviously this is a great CSBG type resource for the agencies as well as for the state associations. So again, it's $150 no matter what kind of organization you are, and no matter how many people on your team you want to sign up for a membership.
So I'm going to just switch screens here for a minute to bring you this. If you are not a member, you're going to come to a page that kind of, you know, it'll say join as opposed to your membership. It'll say join. If you are a member, you know, if you go to subscribe and be a member, and you're already a member, it'll have you log in. It'll prompt you to log in right here. And then you're putting your username, your email, and all that. If you have forgotten your password, you can do forgot password all on your own. You don't need to reach out to anybody. You don't have to reach out to me or Ken or Kafka to say, I don't know what my username and password was, because you can use your email. But really, signing up for a virtual CAP subscription is one primary person will kind of be responsible for your group. You can switch that. You can decide that that's going to be, and I know I'm giving you probably more information and it's more self-explanatory if you go through the process, but it could be your HR person, it could be your planning director, could be a lot of people, but you're going to put this in. And you have the option to pay immediately by credit card or to get an invoice. To get an invoice, you do pay by check. And then there will be a prompt that comes up that allows you to print out an invoice and submit it where you need to. Once you are registered, you will go to a screen where you're able to add emails, just emails of the staff that you want to have access to this and to be a user. And you press a button and it will send them an email. That will then prompt them to set up their own username and password and begin using the site under your group. You can change who is the lead person that manages that group. So let's say you're the executive director or the president CEO, you add your HR director or your COO as, and then you make them, you switch the management role to that person and ask them to add everybody. I will be monitoring. One of the big things, like Deb was just explaining, is I want this to be in front of people. I want them to be able to utilize it. And so if I see that someone has a group membership, an agency membership, but there's no one, you know, using it or assigned as users, I'm going to reach out and see if you need any help adding those users, because I want you to benefit as much as you can from all of that. So you'll see here, you know, these are the opportunities that you have by subscribing. Again, posting jobs is available to subscribers. Viewing jobs is available to everyone. We know that employment is such a hard thing right now. So as many tools and resources as we can give you to try to attract people to your agency, we want to do that. And again, the term is 1 year, and it's pretty, we feel like it's pretty simple. We didn't want to make it complicated for people. And so does anybody have any questions before I leave this screen?
Yes, we do have a question that's come in. Do you have to add everybody in your agency when you join or renew, or can you do it over time? So let's say,
yeah, you could do it
let's
over
say
time.
we hire somebody 2 months from now. We can add that person later on?
Yes, absolutely. Your cap is 100 people. So if you want to add them on, you want to remove someone from your group because they've left your organization, you can do that as well. It is for you to manage. Yeah.
Super. And if people wanted to have you re-explain this, Sue, let's say they join and then they're like, oh, I can't remember what that meant to have a group name and how to add people. Can they reach out to you directly to have you kind of walk them through the process?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My email is, what is my email? virtualcap@kafka.org. I can, Deb, can you want to type that in?
Yep.
Would you mind?
I'm on it right now.
I'm looking at multiple screens here and I'm like, oh. Or it's sue@kafka.org because that's easy to remember. You could also go to contact, and you can send an email and I'll get it because I monitor that mailbox. So you could do it this way too, whether you're a member or not a member. You can still use this page to do that. And I'll get back to you. It'll come to me. We do have sponsorship opportunities. We're working on that. We do have 2 RPICs that have renewed their sponsorship. And we're excited about that because that helps us make this more possible to keep this going and bring this to you.
Yeah, and the reason we're reaching out for sponsors, and we are reaching out beyond our picks also to some of our partners and national vendors, is we really want to be able to keep the costs down for each organization. We also need to make the project work, right? So we need the resources to make it work. And so we're hoping to be able to keep the cost as low as possible, the $150 per year, and then have the sponsorships help to fill in that gap so that we can all learn from each other and make this resource as robust as possible. What other questions do people have or ideas that you want to share with the group?
Where are you going? Well,
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tyler Napper with Community Renewal Team. Excuse me. I have a question with regards to the resources section, more so specifically the data side of it. Would we be able to filter or search or query for different type of data sets?
If you go to the actual site of like the homeless population and you want to go to Connecticut, whatever is available through their site, you'll be able to sort if it's available through their site, similar to like, the US Census, to be able to sort that way, but that's only if it's available through their site.
All right. Thank you.
Sure.
hello.
Hey, Kevin, it's Jeremy.
Hey.
Is Yvonne in with you?
No, I'm in a.
Okay. The gentleman is here from the architect.
What other questions do people have
Just a
or
minute.
thoughts to share? So Sue, is the membership already open? So if people wanted to go on and sign up today, they could, or do they have to wait till the end of the month?
No, you don't have to wait till the end of the month. You can go in today, tomorrow, and just update your membership. it will, you know, prompt you to do that organizational membership. And so you can then add it, leave it, call me, say, hey, I need help. How do I do this again? Can you walk me through it? And I will. So no, you do not have to wait. And if you want to share it with other people, in the invitation that Deb sent out for today's webinar, there was a sneak peek of a YouTube video that I created. You can show that to someone, but you could also you could log in and show someone in your organization what it's about. You know, go to the actual page, logged in, and show them. And if you're not a member, you can still go. You can still go to, sorry, I'm reading questions. You can still go to the website, which does really take you through every tab and gives a little bit more information than what you'll see if you're not a member.
Great. I'm going to answer the question that was in the chat, and the question was about state associations. And I had said earlier that if you wanted to, as a state association, if you wanted to encourage your local community action agencies to sign up for this, you could, depending on your budget, of course, say that you will reimburse them for a membership. So have them do the sign up so that they have their own group name and can sign up as many people in their community action agency, up to 100 people. You want that to come from them. But if you wanted to reimburse them, you could potentially set up a system whereby they send you the receipt that they have bought a membership, and you would just reimburse for that membership. Does that make sense? Yes. And the membership is for a calendar year. I think we had discussed whether or not to prorate. Ken did used to prorate during the year, but we really do want to encourage everybody to join right from the get-go. So it's for the calendar year, it's $150 for the year, and that is the cost. And you're welcome.
Anything else?
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. Clint wants a pledge gift. If you, yes, if you come to New Orleans, Clint, I'll bring you a bag, a virtual cap, tote bag, or socks if you donate on a monthly basis.
But I want to thank you too. We're really excited. We're really excited about this, and he's very happy, Deb. And again, if you have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Now you know who I am, you know, and I think that helps. It's good to see so many of you this afternoon. So thank you.
Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great afternoon.